Hakioi listeners, let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton. Welcome to the podcast. Instagram X is where you'll find me. This podcast is also restreamed in audio on YouTube if you are listening there. Sorry, this is not a video replay. The channel does do videos at times, but not of the Basho. Thank you for listening otherwise. Drop me a comment on YouTube, as it's probably the most reliable method if you want a response. Day 2 of the Osaka Grand Sumo Tournament, the Haru Basho, and some good solid sumo tonight as they settle into this tournament. First up, Yokozuna Hoshoryu. He was facing Wakataka Kage, Magashira 1. After last night's loss, Hoshoryu wasn't leaving it to chance and he drove out of the tachi-ai. Good solid hit as they struggled for arms. Hoshoryu, he had the power tonight. He drove Wakataka Kage back to the side bales. Look, he got an arm deep inside, which gave him enough leverage to force Waka over the bales. Good strong leg defense from Wakataka Kage, but just not enough. Yorakiri was the call. A solid power win, which gave Hoshoryu some confidence after his first up loss last night. 2 losses for Wakataka Kage. I wouldn't be too concerned. He is in the joy, the upper reaches of the Magashira ranks. They do get to face all of the Sanyaku first week, so he's got a couple of hard matches coming. Karaban Ozeki, I should say, gave Gonayama a huge bear hug, which pretty much just negated any arm movements that Gonayama had. Kodazakura got a big, deep left hand belt grip, and then he got the right hand up around a deep arm to hold Gonayama. It was almost a big bear hug. Worked him back to the bales, got him over. Look, there was no major issues with his knee as Kodazakura put plenty of pressure on it on the drive back to the bales, so that was pretty good. A positive for Karaban Ozeki. Kodazakura, Yorakiri was the call. Onosato, he faced up to the technician, Kirishima, former Ozeki. Look, with a big man like Onosato, Kirishima needs to find a bit more off the tachi-ai. Wasn't really great. Wasn't the most powerful I've seen. Anyway, he tried a few different options, including an arm grab, which didn't quite work. Onosato used that indecision to drive him back to the bales. Onosato was looking for the belt, but just didn't get it as he lifted Kirishima upright, leaving Kirishima with nothing in defense. He got pushed over Oshidashi. Bit of not a great loss there from Kirishima. Daisho just overpowered Chiyoshima with a thrusting attack. Tsukudashi thrust out Chiyoshima. Welcome to the big legs. Furious and hard Oshi battle between Oho and Wakamoto Haru. Wakamoto Haru doesn't get time to set himself up for a belt grip as he is forced into exchanging thrusts with Oho. Look, he gave as good as he got. Oho left himself open. Wakamoto Haru drove his arms around looking for a belt, but he missed the belt, used it around the body to drive Oho down and over. Sukiyanage beltless arm throw was the call. It was a pretty good win for Wakamoto Haru and shows he doesn't need to be on the belt to win those matches. And Oho, look, 2 losses first up this week at Sekiwake. Abi faced Tobizaru. Look, a big Nodowa, which is as per standard for Abi, and a Hataki Komi thrust down attempt, but it doesn't quite get there. He did try and grab the back of Tobizaru's head, nearly got the hair, but he didn't get his fingers in there. Tobizaru, he tried obviously to keep Abi at that arm's length, tried to drive Abi back to the bales. He was pressuring Abi there at one stage. Abi went to the right, bit of a dodge as he deflected Tobizaru's attack. Tobizaru then went for a big charge as Abi stepped left, got a hand to help Tobizaru down and over the bales as he flew forward over the bales into the first row. Tsukiyatoshi diagonal body thrust down. Ichi Yamamoto, look, he was quite impressive tonight against Takanosho. Big drive off the tachi-ai, which is Ichi Yamamoto's standard, but it was pretty much negated by Takanosho. He's a big fellow, and he was kind of forced into the Oshi belt sort of option. Ichi Yamamoto, look, he found an inside position on the belt, moved Takanosho back, chased him over the bales. Good win by Ichi Yamamoto to show he's not really just that one-trick pony. A Yorakiri is the call there. furious Oshi battle between Ura and Takayasu the bear. Ura took a bit of punishment from a fairly stable and balanced Takayasu, but he did deliver a few in response. Few thrusts, and Ura went in, but Takayasu got a thrust down on Ura, as Ura, of course, finished with a roll over and out of the ring, as always. Hataki Komi is the call. Gave as good as he got there. Takeru Fuji, he negated whatever Kimbozan was trying to do at the touchy. I wouldn't call it a henker. Didn't really move left or right. Maybe it was a bit of a half-hearted one, but it was with a Hataki Komi attempt. He tried to pull Takeru Fuji down, but Takeru Fuji just absorbed it and drove him out fairly easily. Hiradumi, he stepped out backwards as he was pulling Shodai down. Unfortunate, as he probably had it otherwise, because Shodai was on the way down to the dirt. Atami Fuji and Endo had a quick match. Endo going back in retreat as Atami Fuji was driving hard forward. The Gunbai went to Atami Fuji as Endo went flying out of the ring, but a mono-e by the Shimpans, a discussion by the judges, they overturned it and gave it to Endo, as the replay showed that Atami Fuji, as he was going down forwards, he touched down first. Endo still had a foot on the bails. Look, I watched the replay a few times, and the Oyakata called it a Karasakashi under-shoulder swing down. Look, it wasn't easy to see from the camera angle, and I did watch it in slow-mo, but gee, I tell you what, it was a negligible Karasakashi. These Oyakatas in Osaka are calling the Kimerete. They're doing my head in so far. There's a few very unusual calls. JJ from Sunday Morning Sumo wants me to do a video episode on that. I'll have to think about that one. Got to find time to do that. Hako Oho, he got a good fast belt win over Nishikigi. Good power there. Some really good offense by Midori Fuji on Onakatsu, but some really good defense by Onakatsu as well. Midori Fuji had him on a double inside grip. Onakatsu kept pivoting hard to negate the throws that Midori Fuji was trying. But he just couldn't execute it on Onakatsu. As he dragged back under pressure, Midori Fuji ended up stepping out backwards, losing sight of where he was. It was a bit unfortunate because it was pretty good offense that match, giving Onakatsu that win. Shishi, he knocked up his first, and I'd say a very awkward win over Takara Fuji. It looks unusual. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of drive, but in the end, he ended up with an inside belt grip, turned Takara Fuji over, Shitata Nage inside belt throw. The other fight I'll look at tonight, Asa Koryu, his fight over Ayanishiki. Look, he was strong, he was fast, he harried Ayanishiki until he got behind, turned him for an Akuridashi, forceful push out at that. More to come from him. Ayanishiki went flying off into probably the second row, to be honest. Took the Shimpan out with him as he went. So that's day 2 done and dusted. Good night for the Yokozuna and the Ozekis, all getting up for a win. Sekiwake's they're 50-50, as Daisho does okay. Oho struggles a bit early. Tomorrow night, Yokozuna Hoshoryu, he has Wakamoto Haru. I would think the Yokozuna can deal with that. Onosato has Gonayama. I would think another bear hug from Onosato will deal with Gonayama. Kodazukura has a difficult match against Arby. That will be an interesting fight. Daisho is up against Wakataka Kage. If anyone can negate the Sapari thrusting, the threshing from Daisho, it will be Wakataka Kage. Tobizaru is facing Sekiwake Oho. Kirishima is up against Chiyoshima. Kirishima should win that one. And Hiradumi versus Takeru Fuji. That will be a good fight as well. Probably full on thrusting there. That should be a good night tomorrow night. Join me again after day 3 and we'll get back into the Osaka Basho. Hakuo listeners, let's learn sumo.